unknown comes to life. Red flag walks the Dogman prowl beneath the midnight sky. From the slopes to mountain passes where the mysteries survive. A legend begins with a sighting, and the story will never die. Whoever
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing? I know I said I was only going to do one Saturday night live stream at the very beginning of the month, but I said no. Let's do two. Let's do two a month. How's that sound? How's everybody's weekend going on so far? I've been busy behind that camera right there. Working on some stuff. Had a good interview today. We're supposed to have two. One had some issues, so we're rescheduling that. You guys, just giving you a real quick rundown of what we got going out. On the 1st, we have an episode going out. The 3rd, the 6th, the 8th, the 10th, the 13th, and the 15th. That's what I got scheduled out so far. Still looking for guests, so if you guys know anybody and you'd like to have them come on the show, you guys can send them my way. Shoot them my email, thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com, thecryptidpodcast72, excuse me, at gmail.com. You guys, we did it. If you guys are new and you haven't jumped in and seen what's been going on, we hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. So, woo! Thank you so much for that, you guys. I appreciate all the hard work that you guys have done supporting the channel. I'll just give you guys an update as to where we sit right now for subscribers. We are at 5,044. So that's a big deal. So we had pork chops and applesauce in the house. We got Wade. We got Tanya. We got Randy. We got Kristen. We got Taylor. What's going on? We got Randy in the house. Corey, what's up? I can't think of a name. Love that name. Welcome. We got Leslie. We got, who else is in here? We got Bikes and Bullets. What's up? Nice seeing you again. And let's see, who else am I missing? Oh, Mr. Future, are you still in the chat? Welcome. Mr. Future sent me a message a little bit ago. Dario, what's up? My friend from Italy. So you guys, so Mr. Future sent me a message earlier or commented on one of my episodes asking when I was going live with the guests that I had on. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the guests that I just had on, fantastic guests. And again, sorry, you guys are going to have to wait until the 15th of October to see their encounter and their episode, but it was amazing. So, Mr. Future, if you're still in the chat, sorry, bud, you got to wait until the 15th. Guys, I got a frog in my throat, something. I don't know, maybe a bullfrog. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. So, what are you guys, what are you guys hoping for tonight? Get a little scary? I don't know. I read this encounter, pulled a lot of different information for this story from many different places. And again, you guys, you know how I am. I like it when I read it, it flows for me. And so what I had to do is, hi, am I still on for one? Yes, you are. I sent you a reply. I need to have you on as soon as possible. Like, for real. So I sent you the availability. You pick what day you want. Okay. So you pick what day works for you. If it's open, it's your time slot. So we'll work with that. All right. So yeah, this is okay. I will look for your email. You guys, this is a crazy encounter. This happened back in 2007 Labor Day weekend. What's up, Robbie? And this it's pretty crazy. So thank you for all the support. I know some people that may review this are like, listen, 5 minutes into the show and he's still just blah 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 before getting into it. But you know what? Huge milestone was reached. Thanks to all you guys out there that are subbing, listening. Angry German Sausage, what's up? You guys were having a membership drive starting October 1st through the 31st. I'll be doing a membership giveaway. So if you are a member of the channel, or if you're not, head on over to the channel, hit join. Membership is only $2.99. This month, I'm going to be giving away a hat, a tote, a patch, a couple of stickers, and something else. So that's what I'm going to do. And the reason I'm doing one that's so big, is one, we hit 5,000 subscribers. Two, it's kind of like the 1-year anniversary. And three, we hit 100 episodes. So, all right, guys, I'm sure you're all tired of hearing about this. Let's get on into this story. Now, you guys, I'm not going to be able to say hi to you. I'm going to bring on this. Here we go. I'm going to read this for you guys. So, you guys, this text is a dramatization reconstructed based on eyewitness accounts and public retellings that were available. Now, I went through and I looked for multiple sources. I don't want it to be just all tossed together. So I put it in, everything I found, put it in, and had ChatGPT put it into a nice, readable, nice flowing package. So I can read it to you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to really enjoy this this story. All right. So here we go. All right, guys. So this happened Labor Day weekend in 2007. Out in rural Somerset County, Maine, on Madawaska Road, the Martin family's farmhouse sat mostly quiet on most days. It was the kind of place where the trees pressed in at dusk, the woods seemed just beyond safety. Eric and Shelley Martin, they loved the solitude. They moved there for peace, for space, for nights on the front porch watching fireflies drifting through the yard. In the weeks before the incident, strange but subtle things started to happen. Eric remembers noticing lights, strange, pulsating lights emanating from a swampy area near their home. Lights that would flicker, then disappear when approached. It unsettled him more than anything. He felt like being hunted. Excuse me. It unsettled him more than anything. He felt hunting or being out in the woods in Maine. Shelley described it as something sometimes in the evening while she was sipping her coffee on the porch or closing windows. She felt something was watching her from the tree line. Never a sound, just a presence. Then there was the night not too long before Labor Day when Eric and his son Sean walked out into the field with a flashlight, trying to trace the source of some of these lights. Every time they got close, the lights would vanish. Sean felt the air change, that eerie quiet that breeds something in the dark. They found nothing, no tracks, no disturbed grass, nothing to tell them they weren't alone. There was also evidence that the weirdness extended inside the house. Some sources say Eric had seen an apparition of a girl dressed in old-fashioned clothing, moving through the rooms. It was only a glimpse, more like a shape than a full form. but it added to the atmosphere, shadows and lights, and the constant feeling of being watched. From our perspective now, knowing what came next, you can see the warning signs, the pulsating lights in the trees, the feeling of eyes at the wood's edge, footsteps unheard but suspected, the house not quite sleeping easy. Nobody screamed, nobody fled, but each evening, the boundary between the comfort of home and something just beyond began to thin. Then came Labor Day weekend. That ordinary holiday stretched to the end of summer when the fields were golden, the nights cooled softly. Eric and Shelley settled onto the porch like always. Coffee, quiet, the same twilight they found beautiful. But this time, when Eric shone the flashlight into the backyard, the shadows shifted. The lights in the woods had stopped dancing. They seemed to have settled, as though the watchers had grown braver. The silence settled it too, heavy and urgent, curling around the house like smoke. Shelley felt it at first, that prick of dread in her skin. She said afterwards, when Eric said, "We need to go inside now," it wasn't just instinct, it was dread speaking. And then the creatures stepped forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of Palmyra, Maine, and the Dogman Attack on the Martin family. You don't remember a town the same way you remember a particular night, a place like Palmyra, small, quiet, ringed by fields and dark forest, settles into your bones as harmless backgrounds within something happens to rearrange the map you keep in your head. For the Martin family, that rearrangement came on a warm Labor Day weekend in 2007. On a stretch of old country road called Madawaska, what began as an ordinary evening turned into a memory that would not let them sleep. It started like so many nights, crickets working the air, porch lights humming, a husband and wife sitting with coffee, and the ordinary private quiet of the yard they'd chosen for peace. Eric Martin tells it best. I moved to the farm on Madawaska Road with my wife Shelley and family because I needed a quieter life after my injury. One warm evening, it was around Labor Day weekend, about 2007. Shelley and I were sitting on the porch having coffee like we often did. I suddenly felt wrong in a way hunting had never made me feel. I told Shelley we needed to go inside now. Before we could, I shined the light and saw 3 figures standing just beyond the yard. They weren't normal dogs. They were tall, roughly my height or taller, almost 7 feet tall when they stood upright, and they ran on their hind legs like people sometimes stand and move. Their eyes reflected a pupilless yellow-green in the light. They had short tails, and their fur looked smooth on the body, but wild around the head. When 2 more tried to sneak up, they rose up and moved the same way. I got the family inside fast. Later, when I went out to check the field with my son Sean, Whatever was out there had vanished without leaving. Clear, convincing tracks. It felt organized like a pack, and we were terrified. There's a small, sharp mercy in the human instinct to call family inside. A dozen ordinary decisions are made in the span of a minute. The lights are switched off, the back door is latched, the phone found, if the phone can still be found. Shelley remembers it's not as a single sight, but as a terrible unfolding of sounds and motions and feelings. I still remember being on the porch. Eric suddenly said, it was like time to come inside. I shone the flashlight across the yards and I froze. There, standing, were these three tall, dark, or dog-like figures looking back at us. They weren't wolves. Their ears started low and went up to the side of their head. Their eyes had no pupils but shone yellow-green. One looked light brown. The others were darker. They moved up to two legs and seemed sleek and fast, not clumsy. At one point, my heart was just in my throat because a pair tried to come closer. But when they were spotted, they stood and ran like the others. We locked our doors. The whole night felt unnatural. We didn't get the kind of photographs or definitive evidence you'd expect because in the very moment we were in, you're worried about your safety. You're not worried about taking pictures. The fear was real and immediate. From inside the house, their teenage daughter, the one who slept upstairs until shouting awoke her, remembers a different, equally vivid detail. The helplessness of being in a vulnerable place while something moved in the dark outside. I was upstairs asleep while my parents were on the porch. I woke to shouting and my mother running. Everything felt panicked. Later, I heard them talking about lights and shapes and eyes in the yard. I remember being told to stay away from the windows and to lock everything. From where I was, it sounded like something was circling outside of our property and trying to intimidate us. We were scared to sleep. The house felt like a trap. I didn't see the creatures with my own eyes that night, but I heard and felt the fear they brought with them. When the immediate panic passed and daylight returned, the family tried to make sense of what rattled them. Men and boys, the ones who hunt, who read all the animal tracks like a language, walk the yard to the edge of the tree line to look for proof. Sean, Eric's son, remembers the silence. Eric asked me to circle around with the flashlight while he walked the field. We thought perhaps it was a poacher or something messing with flashlights. But when the lights cut off, everything went eerily silent. When we got close to the tree line, there was nothing left. No tracks that told a clear story. I remember thinking how wrong the silence felt. Whatever was out there didn't behave like normal animals. It was organized and it seemed to know what it was doing. I've heard the retelling since, and I still go back to the silence. That's the thing that haunts me the most. That silence, a thick, unnatural absence of sound that you expect of deer, dogs, or coyotes, is one of the threadbare facts that run through every account. The other common details are the same: bipedal gait or upright posture, the size taller than any dog with short tails, and the eerie, pupilless, reflective eyes. Witnesses sketched what they saw. The sketches travel across the message boards and on YouTube channels. The stories grow teeth, the storytellers sharpen it, but underlying all of the dramatizations and these human testimonies A second here. I just hit a button. Hold on a second here. Okay, sorry. Let's see. The sketches travel across the message boards, YouTube channels. The stories grow teeth and the storytellers sharpen it. But underlying all of the dramatizations are these human testimonies, shaken people who will never forget the look of those eyes at the edge of their yard. Over the years, the storytellers, let's see. Over the years, the story left the front yard of the Martin's house and found new lives. It appeared in retellings on regional websites, podcasts, monologues, that type of thing. A few television program dramatizations at night, giving it a larger audience. But if you go digging through official papers, a police report, cast tracks, veterinary forensic notes, that's where the trail starts running very thin. Investigators and reporters who have tried to verify the episode have found eyewitness testimonies and secondhand retellings, but not the kind of stories that you would publicly find posted as documentation. Everything looks like it would transform as an oral story onto a logged in incident with evidence. If you ask the Martins today, they will tell you about the way the headlights threw those eyes back at them, about the thrill of fear and the long, careful checking of doors after midnight. They will tell you the night changed how they saw the trees and how potentially they learned to listen for ordinary noises in the dark. They won't promise an answer. They will only hand you their memory and say plainly that something came and stood at the border of our field looking at them. And that is what happened on that Labor Day weekend back in 2007. You guys think about that. Think about that. You and your significant other sitting on the porch of your house. You move to this house because you're looking for something. Solitude, silence, just those warm those warm summer nights. And as you're sitting there enjoying your cup of coffee, you hear something. You take your flashlight, you shine it over there where you hear the noise, and you have 3 sets of eyes staring back at you. Now, you shine the flashlight in a more direct manner, and you see them walking towards your house, and then all of a sudden they stand up and start coming for you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Guys, that's the story for that Martin family. So, I mean, that took all of 19 minutes to tell the story. Yeah, it is. It is a wild story. And for a while, I've heard people ask me about it. So a couple of people brought it up for me. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'll look at it. Yeah, the walls are absolutely a false sense of security. Absolutely. So now we're going to open up to some questions. If you guys have some questions, or if you guys have a cryptid you want me to look up and read about, because I think we've done that the last few, little night chatters. And yeah, we can kind of chat and talk about. Let's see here. And absolutely, Kimberly. So if you guys have a cryptid you want me to look up, or another incident you want me to look up, I can. Or a story. You want a Dogman story? Do you want a Bigfoot story? All you guys got to do is let me know what state and what county, and I will do my absolute best to give you guys what you ask for. So let me know. Lake County, Illinois. First, I'll look for Dogman encounters. Nothing in Lake County for Dogman encounters. Let's look at we have 2 in Lake County. We have 2. Now, what we're looking at here in Lake County, let's see here. So in Lake County, I'm seeing 2 Class B Bigfoot encounters. One's in March of 13. Homeowner finds possible footprints near Beach Park, and the motorist has a possible sighting near Barrington. That's spring of 2008. I'll read that one. The nearest town is Barrington. Nearest road is Inglenook Lane to the east and High Point Drive to the west. On the north side of the street, in a township building on south side of the road, is a heavy wooded area close to the road with small residential buildings and a large field behind that. They said they actually saw this around 4:30 in the morning. My girlfriend and I were on a stretch of road. We're on this road quite a lot. We frequently stop and look at animals, especially large ones like deer. We're not scared in the slightest of dealing with animals at night. I grew up in the woods. I'm EMT, trained observer, a natural enthusiast, and comfortable in rural areas. It was fairly overcast and rainy night. My girlfriend and I were out driving for a few hours. It was pretty uneventful night. We saw a few deer, some raccoon, and a fox. As we were driving east on Cuba Road, just past Ella, at about 04:30 hours Central Time, we came over a small rise in the road and saw a large silhouette in high contrast on the right-hand shoulder of the road, crossing from left to right. Behind the animal was reflective road sign that was bouncing the light from our headlights back to us. We did not see the front end of the animal. We could only see from about mid-chest down. The creature was up on its hind legs and seemed to be stooping over. Had very thick, heavily muscled legs. The animal seemed to be a dark gray with a little to no hair. We could not tell for sure, though. Within a short time, it was across the road and out of the direct light. I visually tracked it into the woods on the right side of the road. The animal seemed to have gone up behind a white clapboard house and then into the backyard and out of sight. I turned to my girlfriend and asked her, "Did you see that?" She said, "Yeah, you saw it too." I asked her, "Do you want to stop and look?" As soon as I asked that question, I got a feeling of total dread that I'd never felt before, and immediately told her to go and not stop. We sped away as fast as we could and discussed what we saw while we were driving back to the house. So there we go. I'm stopping. Tony, what's up? How you doing? What's up there, White? Nice to see you. Jojo, what's going on? Edward, what's up? What's up, LeBear? How you doing, buddy? Who am I missing? Is it Vadia? Vadia? West Virginia, Preston County. Hey, Grace, what's going on? Boy, I got a lot of requests. That's cool. See, I like seeing all these requests. Okay, Goatman. Dude, I don't have any Goatman. I've been looking for Goatman account. You know what? I'm going to do this. Let me see if I can find something. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something. Let's see what we can find here. Oh, they're found in Bowie, Maryland, Old Alton Bridge in Denton, Texas. I just want to find the stories I can read. All right, I have to do a little more searching for that, you guys. So we'll go from here. Okay, I live in Kingston Springs. Where's that West Virginia one at? Let's see here. Northeast Iowa. Hey, Roger, what's going on, man? How's it going? How's it going? Got Roger in the house. Nicest person ever. I had an honor and opportunity to meet Roger at the Bigfoot conference in Tennessee. It was fantastic. Next weekend, I will be doing, well, I'll be at another Bigfoot conference. I'll be at the Minnesota Bigfoot conference up in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. So let's see here. I got to go back and find, there we go. So West Virginia, Preston County. Let me see what we got in Preston County, West Virginia. Preston County, West Virginia. West by God, Virginia. Oh, here we go. Preston County, West Virginia. This is Dogman Encounter. All right. Let's see what we got here. This is a very short one. This was in 1995. I was coming home from Taekwondo class in Morgantown, West Virginia, just outside Masontown. This big dog-like thing jumped off the cliff on the driver's side of the road. I hit my brakes and came to a halt. It stood in the middle of the road. Its teeth were bared and snarling. I thought it was going to attack. Just then, a car came from the opposite direction. The car came to a stop, and the thing jumped from the middle of the road over the embankment. And that is about it. Ashland City, Tennessee. Yes, Iowa does have some crazy stories. So you guys are talking about feline man and cat people. I'm telling you, I'm hopefully be having someone come on pretty soon. That's had some seen a wampus cat and had some encounters with, I guess, the cat people. So we'll see how that goes. What's up, Happy Wolverine? See, there you go. Well, Roger, I'm glad you're checking in on me, man. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. I really, really do. You're one of my favorite people in this community, man. I just want you to know that. All right. Anybody else? Does anybody else have any counties and states where we want to hear a Dogman encounter or a Bigfoot encounter? Oh, hey, Jojo, that person. I wanted to send you the email, forward it to you. So I started looking for it, and it's gone. I think I accidentally deleted it. Roger, come on, man. Hey, how do you like being over there with Doug Highcheck's Untold Radio Network? How do you like that, man? Cheatham County, Ashland City. What state is that? Oh yeah, I know. No, he's reached out to me other times too on other platforms. Tyler, what city or what state is Ashland City? Tennessee. It's in Tennessee. Okay, let me look here. I'll look in both Dogman and let's see here. Ooh, Tipton County, Tennessee. That's close to where I had my my Bigfoot encounter. Mm, nothing on the site that I'm looking at for Dogman. It's not saying that they're not there. It's just not where I'm pulling information from. Let's see here. Let's do this here. What's up, Puck Elf? How you doing, buddy? Squatch Mama, does Kelly Osbourne really live in Des Moines, Iowa? Cheatham County. Here we go. So this happened in November of 2008. This again, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of stuff, but where I'm pulling information from, I'm only able to report what they have there. So this happened in Cheatham County, Tennessee, nearest count. Tyler, did you know about this? Grace, her brother does what? Are you talking about Jack Osborne? Yep. Yeah. Hey, bikes and bullets. Yeah, I do. I actually have that. I'll post the link. I'm gonna post the link. You know what? Give me a second here, you guys. Give me a second here. I'm going to post a link on my Facebook page for the group. And let's see here. Here is the 911 call. So after this, if you guys want to go and check out the Cryptid Podcast on Facebook, it's the Facebook group. Check it out. It's pretty scary. You guys can hear the fear in this man's voice. It is insane. Yeah, it's probably one of the scariest encounters I've heard. It's bananas. What's up, Scott? Chelsea, what's up? Yeah, it jumped into his vehicle. Oh yeah, I knew Kelly Osbourne left LA. I just didn't know where she left for. Yeah, that's cool. I spotted her and Sid in Hy-Vee in Davenport. I have family that lives in Davenport. I don't think Davenport's that far away from me. I think it's like 2 or 3 hours away from me. All right, you guys. So here we go. I'm gonna go and look. Some people are asking for um Dogman encounters. Hey, Roger, thanks for coming in, man. I missed my nap today. Let me go ahead and check out some encounters in Massachusetts. Yeah, dude, that was Wade. That was crazy. Night, Roger. Um, let's see here. Jojo, I had Rod. I had Rod back on. His second. Okay, his second episode is going to be released on the 10th of October. All right, let's look at this here. Massachusetts Dogman encounter. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. There are two in the same county. So Hampton County and Worcester. I'm probably saying that wrong. So, all right, here we go. Let's check them out. Hey, Kristen, what I posted on the Facebook page has all of that. This happened in 2013. This Dogman encounter. I'm reporting a possible Dogman sighting based on all the info provided. Provided by my son and his friend. This occurred in Montgomery, Massachusetts. As a four-wheel enthusiast, my oldest son has become familiar with off-road trails and rural routes that he and his friends use regularly, often at night. On this occasion, they were in his Ford Explorer, following a familiar route in a rural town through a remote wooded area. Being winter, the plow stopped at certain points, leaving a bank of snow at the point, making it where the town abandoned maintenance was of that unpaved road for the winter, leaving further use of the road to those who dare to go. Oh, you want me to read that one? Okay, I'll read that one instead. Is it Worcester? Worcester? Is that how you say it? Worcester? Worcester? Kristen, I just posted that that link. Back in 2004, my husband and I were given whoa, okay. I wasn't sure what I was reading there. In 2004, my husband and I were given 3 of our grandchildren to raise. They were boys ages 1.5, 3, and 4.5 years old. The boys were followed a few months later by their sister, a newborn, who was also given to us to raise. After having raised our children, my husband and I found ourselves new parents again. We live in a small town in New England, so small that you could step out of the house and see the police station, fire department, and post office just beyond the house. When I was young, we had stop signs downtown where there are stoplights now. My grandmother and father were born there, and I lived for 6 decades in the town. It was the kind of place where if you needed some vegetables for supper, you went to the neighbor who had a garden, took what you needed, and left money on their front porch. We lived on the main street, but were surrounded by many forested acres. 3 rivers run through the town, and we had a large field behind our house. There were many fields throughout the town, and other towns nearby were similar in makeup. There were also farms in the area and in neighboring towns as well. There were very New England style type towns, small, comfy, and cozy. When the children first came to live with us, both my husband and I worked. He worked at a transit company in the local city, and I worked as a paralegal. My job was a 4-hour commute, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. I would be gone from the house for about 12 hours a day at a minimum. I often worked on weekends too. My husband took a leave of absence from his job and stayed at home with the children for 2.5 years. When he returned to work, he worked the night shift. That enabled him to watch the children during the day. He did his best with the kids while I worked, and given the circumstances, he did a great job. One day after work, when the youngest children were 6 and 4 respectively, I came home to find the house in a state of disarray. Supper had not been made. The kids were running to me with quite a story about a big gorilla that had been outside that day. The 2 youngest let me know that during the afternoon they saw a big gorilla in the front of the house running along the street. They said it was very fast. Then the big gorilla jumped our picket fence and ran into our yard. The children said that they had their nose pressed against the window pane, and that the big gorilla came up to the window, growled at them, then pushed its paws against the window. The children said they tried to wake up my husband, but he had fallen asleep on the couch and they could not wake him up. The big gorilla then ran to the backyard where it broke some car windows and threw about some trash cans. I didn't disbelieve the children. I was just too exhausted to deal with it and responded with my, "Oh, that's nice," comment that I used for anything I couldn't handle at the moment. I do recall reading in the newspaper a few days later that the police were warning folks about vehicle damage, but I never gave it any further thought. I didn't give it any further thought, even though a few years prior to the big gorilla incident, I'd seen a very large dead wolf that I presumed had been hit by a car lying on the roadside. Now, this was not a coyote, nor was it a coyote dog that we had in the area. I'd seen pictures of wolves, and this one was immense. I had personally seen coyote dogs while riding my horse along the trail. The wolf body was gone the next day, and no mention of by authorities of any wolf sightings were in the newspapers. I thought that was sort of unusual. Did we have wolves in the area? Wouldn't that be newsworthy? Did anybody else see this wolf? Obviously, someone had seen the body, as it is now gone, as it was gone the following day. I also did not give the big gorilla story much further thought, even though years before the children came, both my husband and I witnessed large dog type footprints in our backyard. We mentioned those prints to a friend of ours, the animal control officer in a nearby town, who didn't seem too surprised by our findings. However, we never discussed anything further. Again, I didn't give the big gorilla story much thought either, even though about at the time, wait a minute, wait a minute. This thing just reclimbed it. Okay, here we go. I didn't give it much thought either, even though at about the same time we saw the dog prints in our backyard, our cats started going missing. I found one of our cats, Peter, the best hunter in town, high up on my neighbor's roof. The roof was 3 stories, with the first floor and the second floor occupied by tenants, and the third floor was the attic. Lots of those older homes in New England always had full attics. I called Peter, managed to enter the building, climbed to the second floor with a clothes basket. I climbed out onto the porch railing, put the basket above my head, and up to the house gutters. And Peter dropped on in. Thankfully, we managed to save our wonderful cat. Even one of our friends asked why Peter was up on the roof. Peter was not scared of anything, but I was still not connecting the dots. Well, back to the big gorilla story now. When the children got a little older, we moved to North Carolina. It was in North Carolina when the children were near teenagers now that I found your Dogman Encounter program on YouTube. Now, I'm reading this from this website. The writer says, I listened intently to the narrative of your program. Recently, while driving down the street, I connected the dots. The idea of it jolted me and my brain awake. I thought, wait a minute. Did they say big gorilla and something very fast when they were children? Did the children have an encounter with something all those years back? I immediately spoke to our 12-year-old and our 14-year-old separately. Do you guys remember the time you told me about the big gorilla? The 12-year-old energetically told me everything she remembered. The animal was very large. It was very fast. It had black hair and a long bushy tail, and it growled. It had paws with fingers. It had stood up and pushed on the window with those paws. It ran very fast and had jumped over the fence. It had run into the backyard and made a lot of noise, breaking things. The 12-year-old said it did not have the face of a gorilla or a monkey that she could tell, but she couldn't tell us more about the face because of all of the hair. Now, the 14-year-old says, he says that he shivered when he was asked if he remembered it. He said he would never forget the thing coming into the yard. He remembers it clearly as if it were yesterday. He too remembered the swiftness of the creature, the black hair on it, and how it had jumped the fence and was running amok from the front yard to the backyard. He said he doesn't know what it was and still doesn't, but that he hopes never to see anything like it again. The children now know about Dogman and Bigfoot and cryptids. They didn't want to see. They didn't when they saw the gorilla through the, though neither did I. We all received an education from listening to the program. We're aware of what Dogman is and they don't always stay in the forest. They're often seen among neighborhoods, and perhaps, just perhaps, the creature my children saw all those years ago was just that, a dogman in a small New England town. And that was it's summer of 2009. Yeah, that's crazy, you guys. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Michael, what's up, warm through the window? Michael, I would love to have you on the show, man. Shoot me an email. So, Tyler, is that the one you were talking about? Oh, just so you guys know, I'm going to do a night chatter after this, but it won't be going through my StreamYard. Yep, that's what we talked about, Jason. Michael, absolutely. I do not believe for 1 second that it was a big gorilla. Hey, Bikes and Bolts, were you on Josh's show? Yeah, Tom, I sure can. Hold on 1 second. Okay, cool. Cool. I'll check that out, and I'd like to have you on the show. Absolutely. Okay, let me look at here. Wakula or Leon County, Florida. Okay, let's check it out. Let's look here real quick. Let's go for Dogman. I have a feeling that there's not going to be much on Dogman. Well, let me see here. Ah, here's one for Leon County. Tom, this one's for you, bud. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm sharing this story in hopes of someone else having another one, and I then will have this one out there in the open. I was traveling Highway 10 from the west coast to the south coast of Florida. I was with my 6 kids. Holy smoke, 6 kids, and pulling a trailer with all of our belongings and 3 dogs. I was in a big SUV, and it was around 2 a.m. The kids were all asleep, and my 13-year-old daughter was in the passenger seat to make sure I stayed awake. So, after traveling Highway 10 for 3 days, I decided since we reached Florida, we could cut through the state to save some time. So, we got off Highway 10 on an off road in hopes of getting gas and making up for some time or make up some time. It was along Route 27, the Apalachucola. Okay, guys, do not butcher me for saying that. Some national forest on Route 27. We came to the first little gas station. It was closed. I was nervous because we needed gas, so we continued on. I told my daughter to keep an eye out for deer crossing the 2-lane deserted highway because hitting a deer could kill us all and turn us over due to the trailer we were pulling. We were traveling around 45 miles an hour. I remember this so clearly like it was yesterday, but it was 3 years ago. We had our brights on because the road was dark and windy. A few houses were on the road, but not many. As we came around the corner, excuse me, as we come around the corner in the headlights on the road was a lot of blood, flesh blood. And on the side of the road was this 6 or 7 foot tall creature. It was on its hind legs, hunched over a dead deer, eating it. I did not look up, not even it did not look up, not even when my headlights hit it. It was using its arms like a human eating the deer. It had very muscular body, pointed ears, and a long muzzle. If you've ever seen a werewolf, this was it. It had a skinnier lower body, but used its arms and hands just like a human. If it looked up, I would have died. I looked over at my daughter. We were both seeing the same thing at the same time. Tears came to my eyes instantly, and at the same time, we both said, "Werewolf!" I sped up because I was scared. It would run and jump on the trailer and kill my dogs. As we got about a mile away, my heart was beating so hard, my daughter and I were freaking out. It was a werewolf. I've never been a believer in werewolves. I don't watch any werewolf movies, and I have or have any reason to make this up. As a matter of fact, until today, I have only told a handful of people about this. There is a werewolf in Florida. Not sure of the exact town or road, but I wish I did know so I could find out if we were the only ones who had seen this thing. I will live my life wondering. It was between Alabama to Florida along the Panhandle. I will never forget that night. That's crazy. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. They should ask if it needed a napkin. All right. If anybody is new to the chat, new to the channel, drop a 1. Okay. Yeah. Hey, no, bikes and bullets. I completely understand, man. I mean, I would love for you to come on the show. I can put an image over your face and we can change your name and we could kind of use a generalized location. But no, I totally understand. Hexus, what's going on? All right. There was a man named Ducky that was eaten alive in Florida Bama line. Really? Hmm. Well, you guys, that's pretty much it for this live stream. Now, what I'm going to do is give me about, I don't know, a few minutes so I can switch over to my phone. And then we'll do a night chatter from there. We'll talk about the live. We'll talk about what you guys think. I'll read some more stories. And yeah, we'll see. Years back. Yeah, Mike, dude, shoot me an email. Here's my email address right here. Shoot me an email. I will. I'll check it right now. Hey, Bikes and Bullets, man. Number one, I want to say thank you so much for your service, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for your service. not only as a Marine, but also a Leo. I appreciate that, man. And like, seriously, I will do whatever I can. Like I said, I'd love to get you on the show to tell your story, and I'll do everything I can to keep your identity anonymous. So, but I'll definitely check out those links. I will. So, yeah, Josh is my bro. I just talked to Josh probably, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. So, but all right, you guys, I am going to go ahead and call it for the live stream. I just want to say thank you so much for jumping in. And yeah, Mike, again, there's my email address. Hit me up. I'd like to hear some of your stories and possibly get you on if possible. You guys, again, thank you so much. I truly appreciate everything you guys do. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for sticking with me, man. You guys, we did it. 5,000 subs. I'm so blessed and so grateful and thankful for all of you guys. Truly am. To my mods, you guys, thank you so much for everything you guys do. I appreciate you. Christian, the Hammer, Allison. Hopefully I'll see you in the live chat for Night Chatters. So again, yeah, Wade, I hope to see you too. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And you guys, stick around. I'll be jumping on probably the next couple of minutes on the phone for a live a Night Chatter. All right, guys. You guys, thank you so much. Remember, as Josh always says, from Mr. Unknown, stay prayed up. And as I always like to say, you guys, thank you so much for everything you guys done. But most important, remember, a legend begins with the sighting. You guys have a great night. And I'll see you in about 2 weeks for the next live show on a Saturday night. Pork chops and applesauce. Holler at you later, guy. Bye, everybody. Thank you. I'll see you guys later.
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?